Hi, you guys. This is Rain Said That, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And today we're going to be talking about the whole Kenya Moore situation, and I'm really not understanding exactly the reason why she was fired. They fired her from the show or stopped filming with her from the show due to the leaked pictures that she showed of Britney in public. But I don't understand what was the whole reason about her being fired. I mean, she did say that she had a pew pew on her in the car and that Kenya needs to understand who she's dealing with. So those type of words is definitely very dangerous. It's not like, Kenya has not received her karma when she got beat up by, Portia and everything like that. But to bring a pew pew situation or a firearm into the conversation does escalate, having those feelings of danger, having those feelings though like she has to really watch her back. And I don't understand why she said all these things because it really wasn't warranted. If we go back to episode 1 where Kenya first meet Britney, she was basically saying, "Oh, this is your second marriage. Like, well, what was the ring about?" And at first glance, I did think that, Kenya was being shady about it, but I really think that she wasn't. I think that she honestly just was being a little shady, nothing too heavy. And ever since then, Brittany just been mad. Brittany just been taking it the wrong way. I don't think that Kenya meant any malicious intent. I think like she just thought that it was her second marriage or something like that. I'm not really knowing, but it wasn't as bad as, Brittany is making it. I mean, we have seen Kenya on 16 seasons of Housewife, and we have definitely seen the worst of Kenya. So this season, her just saying that comment really just bruised Brittany's ego or something like that. Like, she has been having animosity ever since. Now, she's saying that Kenya doesn't like her or she's weird with her. But honestly, she doesn't have to like you. She doesn't even know you. And just because somebody don't really feel like you are good vibes, it doesn't mean anything. Just because you're good vibes to everyone else does not mean that everyone would think you're a good vibe. Because everyone knows that everybody doesn't like everybody. So she just can't stand the fact that Kenya doesn't want to be her friend. Kenya doesn't like her because she thinks that she's so likable, which I'm having a hard time understanding. So the whole situation where she's saying that she don't know who she's dealing with, she had things on her in the car, and saying, "Oh, where's my husband? Where's my husband?" Trying to, make Kenya feel away about her being divorced. But it wasn't really that serious. Like, you can't handle this little bitty shade. How are you going to handle it when it's something really deep and bad or something like that? Like, you just got on the show and you're acting like you need to be babied. So no, I don't feel bad for Britney. I don't feel bad for her at all because she literally escalated the situation. What do you guys think of the whole situation between Kenya and Britney? Do you think that, Kenya should have never got kicked off the show due to the pictures? Or do you think that it was rightfully so? I don't think that it was rightful. And honestly, Brittany bringing those white funeral flowers is crazy because why you didn't bring anything with, color? I understand that you're trying to apologize, but the reason why you're trying to apologize is because you knew that, the cameras were rolling. You remember everything that you said. And I feel as though she only apologized because she don't want to lose that, her newfound job, which is the Housewives of Atlanta. That's the only reason why she wanted to apologize, because she was looking crazy. I feel as though this is her normal behavior, and she was saying that Kenya is Hollywood and stuff like that. Well, you never heard Kenya says that she got something in her car waiting for you. You never heard Kenya say, "Oh, I got something in my purse for you," or anything like that. So, I mean, as nasty as Kenya's mouth has been talking about people's husband and marriages, but she's never threatened to violently, assault anyone. Okay. Even though I do feel bad for her even being beat up by Portia, I just feel as though Britney took it too far. So if Kenya shows some pictures, which was blurred out, to us, even though it wasn't blurred out to the public, I mean, it's not really that bad because Britney got exposed, because she has every right to do a background check on Britney. Because Brittany states you don't know who you're messing with, you don't know who you're dealing with. So Kenya said that she's going to find out who this girl is, because maybe she do need to know what type of girl that you are so she can stay away from you. And boom, voila. Now Brittany is suddenly the victim. I did not like how all the girls were just like, oh, Kenya, you took it too far. Yeah, I don't think that she took it too far. I wish that she would never ruin her whole event for it, because that was petty drama. It was not even supposed to be held on that day. I do feel as though Kenya was wrong for doing it out in public. I feel as though if she would have brought that to her attention in private when it was just a group, then that would have been different. But to ruin your whole moment, ruin your whole event for Brittany was definitely uncalled for. Like, that was my only issue with that. Number two, all the girls just like, oh, Kenya is wrong. She should never do anything like that. She's stooping so low. Okay, you don't really get to respond to someone disrespect, especially if someone is making you feel like your life is in danger. You don't get to police or, try to measure up someone's, comeback. You don't. So I feel like it was minimal of what she did as far as like find out her business. I feel like that was minimal. I feel like that, it wasn't a big deal for her to be getting fired. I don't think that it was that excessive for her to be, booted off the show, because I do feel bad for Kenya, because she had to express that, she's doing her hair care line, she's starting her business, she took out her daughter's college fund to invest in it, and she needs it to work. And honestly, on top of that, that check from the housewives is funding it. So I don't understand why they was just so quick to fire Kenya. I don't know why, but hopefully that, us seeing the episodes, because I'm not even going to lie, at first glance, I did think that Kenya was guilty. But I'm glad that this season is different, because it shows you that people can change when you want to. And I feel as though Kenya has made a change, even though there's only been a couple of episodes. I feel as though she has not been as toxic as she once was. And this is a great lesson to see, just because, we watched her for 16 seasons, this season is different. It's different for her. She's in a whole different space. And her, losing her job when she needed it, I do feel bad for her at this point. So I never thought that I would be agreeing with Kenya, but this time I'm actually going to agree with her. I don't think that she's in the wrong. She has did nothing wrong, because Brittany has been picking and complaining and crying about Kenya not liking her the whole time, where Kenya has not even done anything to her just yet. And also, this episode was quite confusing, because this whole situation with Drew and Portia is so annoying, because what is going on? If Drew is saying that she has nothing going on with, Portia's baby dad, why is Portia so upset? Now, I do understand, like she stated, that she doesn't want to film with him or anything like that. She doesn't want the drama because she's going through a divorce right now. So I don't even understand what her problem is with Drew, because if Drew is, being produced or having him produce her music, that's helping, putting money in her baby daddy's pocket, which is going to go to her child. So I don't know. It may be some other things going on behind the scenes. Do you guys think that Drew and him have a relationship? And I still don't see the problem with Drew dating him. I feel as though they'll make a good couple. They seem like they got very good chemistry, but like she said, she would not do that for Portia. Air quotes. We don't really know Drew like that. And Drew is always in some drama every single season. And I feel as though she has met her match. Portia has met her match when it came to Drew. But one of the good things that happened this episode is that LaToya and Flavor Flav has now, reconciled their friendship. I really don't understand what was the whole beef about, because it was so petty. It was basically off of a misunderstanding, and they both took it low. Well, basically Shamia took it low, so she apologized, and now they're back on the good front. But I see though that, Brittany is trying to have people rally around her when they were having this conversation, trying to apologize. But at least she is taking accountability for what she said. I will give her that, because she was mad, and people do say things at the heat of the moment. but it was just too much, taking it too far. I really do think sometimes when they're filming on Housewives, because they're on camera so much, I feel like some people be thinking that people be fake on there. I don't think they can be fake, because if you're so used to having a camera recording you all the time, you sometimes forget that you're being on camera. You forget that you're being recorded. So I feel as though that was a real moment for her, and that was something that she would say, to anybody if she was out there, in the streets or something like that. So I feel as though it was just one of her real responses. But she has to remember that she is on camera and she can't say these type of things, because Kenya is just not a regular person off the streets. She has to remember that when she's on camera. But you live and you learn. But honestly, she is not a victim. I feel bad that Kenya got fired. I feel like that they should have just kept both of them on the show. They could have hashed things out. They could have ironed things out and see how that played out. But for them to just shut her out of, filming and recording, that shut her out from telling her side, is kind of strange to me, because why can't Kenya tell us her side? I didn't even see her at any confessionals at all this season. So why can we not hear from Kenya at all? But we can just see her apologizing. Everyone supposed to be like, oh, everything is fine. But, she lost her job and she has a child that she has to take care of, which all of them do. All of them have children. Everyone else that has got, fired from the show as well. But I don't think that this was warranted for her to get fired and kicked off the show. It just wasn't big enough. Wasn't like how, Phaedra did Candy. So it wasn't that big of a situation, because she came with receipts. So it's not like no one can find the information, because if Kenya found it, somebody else will be able to find it too.